We are Suzie and Rolls. That's short for Roland, by the way.
Enchanté.
Follow our lives renovating a 15th century chateau and citadel. Together with our rescue fur babies, Big Baxter, Mad Max and little Lexi our beaver.
Right, we are going into barn 1, and I wanted to show you up there in the corner. Now that is daylight and that is our roof, and those two things shouldn't really go together. So I need to get up there and have a look to see why I can see the sky. Well, this is a really tight spot, and one of the first jobs I had to do when we arrived here was I had to clear this gully, and as you can see I've literally only got the width of my foot in this gully. I've got to be quite careful up here because when we first arrived, 18 months ago now, something like that, the Virginia creeper was growing all up this side, and of course every year it sheds its leaves, but nobody had ever come up here to sort the leaves out. So this gutter I'm currently standing in, which is the width of my foot, it was absolutely chock-a-block with leaves, and it was actually about 8 inches deep, and it had all mulched down. So any water running off here couldn't go anywhere, so of course it was all going into the barn. And we had a flood in this barn this week or last week with the heavy thunder, so I've come up here to investigate, and this channel here is guttering. It was absolutely chock-a-block, and it was full of the dead leaves from the Virginia creeper that's been allowed to accumulate over the years. And you can see right at the end where that pipe is, it's actually compacted over the top of the tiles. So of course, big heavy thunderstorm can't soak through. So where does it go? Into the barn. So I'm trying to clear that out now, but I'm struggling with my reach. So I'm using the good old trusted drain rods and a broom. These drain rods have never had so much work since being here. And all the dark stuff, that's what I've dug out of the gully, and it was absolutely compacted, so no wonder we had a problem. So I've got to be a bit careful. Where I'm standing is safe because it's on a wall. I don't want to go that way. I've just moved what I think is the offending tile, but these tiles, they all slip and they break, you know, the frost gets to them. And unfortunately there's a bit of weed and stuff growing, which doesn't help. There's a gap over there I can see, but there's no way I can get to that yet. So one of the jobs I've got to do is secure all the joists underneath here and make sure it's all safe. And then I can maybe get a sheet of plywood and I can work my way up there. But hopefully at least I've closed that gap, but there's only one way of finding out, it's going back down and then coming back up again. But there's not a lot of room for me to work with, but at least this gutter's clear. Now the other problem I might have is during a really bad thunderstorm or real heavy downpour, I think this gully struggles to cope, but I also think this downpipe doesn't help. I'll get out your way and explain it more. Okay, I've crept along there and got out. I'm now just on the edge of the roof behind you, obviously. Yeah, the problem we've got, I think this gutter struggles to cope, but it's also got the rainwater from the main roof coming down into it. So I think when there's a heavy downpour, we get all the rain from this roof, and then we get all the rain from up there. And that's the whole roof, and there's a gap in that right by that downpipe. I've absolutely no idea how I'm going to reach that, but anyway, I'll worry about that another time. So I think this gutter struggles, and I think what I'm going to need to do, if I can just move back very carefully, this is the downpipe from the other part of the roof, and I think I need to come around up along the wall and then join into this, and that way I've only got the water from this roof going into here. The problem I've got nowhere to work. If I actually run that pipe along this wall, it'll be sticking out, and I've only got this gutter to stand in. So it's a major problem. Maybe a cherry picker will get me around here, but that's not easy because it's coming down into this valley, and it's got to come around the corner from where I am. I'm here, and then it's got to come around there. So I don't even think a cherry picker is going to get me there. So I think the first task I need to do is make sure that roof is safe and secure, and then get some plywood over it so I can actually lean on it and work on it. But I need to sort this out because, you know, that barn is still getting wet in there, even though I cleared this gutter. And you can see a lot of these tiles. Let me see. This one here, for example, you can see it's all fresh. Well, that's because I've actually moved a lot of these when I was up here last year, because there was a few gaps, and you'll see a few clean spots on the tiles where they've never been weathered. So I actually moved a lot of these just to make sure that there were no gaps in it. But there is still water getting in there, so it's a problem that we need to deal with.
I'm just going outside. You coming out, dogs? I'm going to pick some mistletoe because I want to decorate the oak light. It's cold today, so I've got my woolly hat on. So I'm in the rosemary garden. Got the log burner going. There is some smoke coming out. Don't know if you can see that. Well, I've chopped my roses back, and these begonias are doing well, flowering. Here's the tree with the mistletoe on. We've got loads in our meadow, but unfortunately we can't reach it. Oh, this has got berries on too. So I'm going to chop some of this, and I've got some lights to go on the yoke. The dogs have come out to help, torn themselves away from the fire. We were lucky enough to be given these lights. They're from Château up the road, Suzie and Rob. And their chateau's 100 years old. And this big one was in the kitchen. I'm not sure which room that was from. But this big one has got a really heavy weight on it, which I don't think is necessary, because the plan is to put this in the tower as you come in the front door, and but it's got really long. What do you call it?
It's going to be too low.
Too long. So we thought we might take.
I think you need to take two of
those out. I don't think it needs to be that low.
No.
But also, this was held up with a hook, but this is so heavy, this weight.
Yeah.
But we like...
It's like a cannonball.
Yeah, it is. We like this, but we thought we'll take the weight off of it because it's not necessary. Whether they used it as a cantilever, I don't know.
It used to be an oil lamp, if you look.
It's got this shade.
You've got this for the adjustment of the oil. So this was an oil lamp, and of course to light an oil lamp you'd need to be able to bring it down so you could light it. So there was a pulley system on here, and they've obviously kept the weight on here. It's a huge weight. We're going to weigh it actually.
And it's got candle holders on it, which obviously we won't light candles, but we might put some on just for decoration.
Just for decoration, but let's have a look at this first. I'm intrigued as to how heavy this is.
It is like a cannonball.
So we'll just put that on there.
These are our parcel scales.
I don't know whether you'll see it on film, but it's 3.3 kilos. So we can take that off. It's only hooked on, so I'm going to take the weight off, and then we'll just put that back. So it'll be quite ornate, but it really doesn't need that on there, does it?
But I am going to clean it up.
Let me get this out of the way.
Although it looks nice and rustic, I just want to see what it's like cleaned up.
Yeah. It's difficult with this weight on to show you actually, because I think we'd better clean it. We'll put it up at some point this week. We'll take that off.
That's Max in the background chewing up cardboard.
Yeah, he's
he's showing off a bit today. I think they've been shut in a bit because the weather's been horrible.
Yeah.
He needs to go and burn off some energy.
But and of course this then goes on that way. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's going to look really nice. That will be in our hallway by our front door, hanging above that, just above where I was drilling those two holes the other day in that wall. Excuse me.
It might look nice without that one. Actually, that's quite heavy too.
Yeah. Well, we can. If it does, it does. We'll try it. I haven't quite worked out where this piece goes. I think it might go under there. I don't know. Anyway, we'll work it out.
And this other light,
similar in style.
I think that might look nice at the top of the stairs.
Yeah, on the landing.
Yeah.
Again. So it's all caught up.
Keep the rustic theme.
Oh, well, it's caught up here.
Yeah. I couldn't undo that because I didn't have my glasses on.
There you go.
Right. Yeah, I like that.
That's
well,
quite nice light.
That also has one of these shades.
Put it on.
But I actually like it without the shade. Is that right? Yeah.
Sort of. Yeah, I know what you mean actually.
Because I just think it looks more rustic looking.
So that's quite a nice light actually. And these lights didn't quite fit the style they're doing in the chateau, so they said, do you want them? And we said, yeah, we'll have them. And they didn't want any money for them. So these are free. And then we've got these other two. Should we grab those?
These,
again, similar. You know.
They've got the glass shades again, but I think they might look nice in one of the corridors to the cave or the tower room.
Yeah.
Even though Michael's put wall lights up for me.
Yeah, well.
I think he'll have to come back and put those up too.
Yeah, maybe they would look nice up in the because they're quite narrow hall.
Yeah.
It's
just a corridor.
They're just corridors, really, but they would look quite ornate. So we need give those a bit of a clean up.
I know some of you will say we're taking off the patina, but I'd like to see what they look like originally. They might not clean up that well, but we'll give it a go.
Yeah, this patina thing, it's all very well, but I always think, well,
I like it polished up. Well, the brass ones.
If you're worried about the value, fine, don't take the patina off.
No.
But
doesn't really matter.
No, not really. And at the end of the day, you know, if this was made 100 years ago or whenever it was made, why keep the patina on? You want it back to how it was made. It was made for a certain reason in a certain style. So anyway, whatever. So we just thought we'd show you those, and we'll clean those up over the next few days and get them hung up.
Get the Cannonball out.
There's no electric on this, is there?
Yeah, there is.
Yes, there is. There's a wire here. Oh yeah, it's going down there. So they're all wired. Yeah. So I'll get the Cannonball out.
I'll get the ketchup out.
Get the ketchup.
We're gonna give it a go cleaning it with ketchup.
Yeah, that works. So yeah, so we just thought we'd show you those.
I've picked the mistletoe and I'm just cutting off a few dead sticks on it. Sorry about the squeaky secateurs. I think they need some WD on. So this is nice because, as I showed you in the garden, it's actually got berries on. I don't know if they all have berries on at this time of year. So I'm going to put these on the yoke light. I've got some floristry wire here, so I might have to tie it on the top. So I'm just cutting the wire first. It's quite good, it's got a little cutter on here. Right, so now I've got to decide where to put the other bits on the top. I've got these little wire LED lights. Unfortunately, there's a loose wire somewhere, so a bit temperamental, but I was just going to show you how I use them because they're very bendy. So what I do, I wrap them around my hand like that, and then pull them open like that, and I'm just going to place them on the top here. Oops. So you don't need to wrap them round anything. I just hope this works. I'm just putting these little woodland animals up. My sisters bought them for me when I was in hospital last year. Actually, there was a little deer with it, but Rolls brought them home and somebody ate the deer.
Not me!
Thank you to Grandma Sharon and Janet for buying us coffees this week, and also to Regis, our new patron. Welcome. And thank you to all our other patrons and all of you out there supporting us. And we'll see you on Wednesday. Bye.